Okay, we were just doing a plan with me, and before I shuffled this one, I wanted to do a quick walkthrough of it just because it's all in order. And so I might as well do a quick walkthrough for people who are interested in it. I stumbled on this just on Amazon, I believe, and it is called Celtic Spirit Oracle Ancient Wisdom from the Elementals by Nicola McIntosh. Now, the back, and this is by Rockpool Publishing, the back says, "Are you ready to hear the ancient wisdom from the other worlds? Elemental beings, Celtic gods and goddesses have messages that are so subtle, like a whisper that gets lost in our noisy way of life, a tool to aid spiritual growth from the Celts and help raise the consciousness of humanity. Now is an important time to step up and be the change that you want to see in the world." This is only a 36 card deck. I don't, I mean, that's fine for cartomancy like Lenormand or Kipper or something. That's a small Oracle deck. I prefer the minimum. Most of the time, it's the minimums are 44. I love it when they get up more into like the 50 or something like that. That's a pretty small guide Oracle deck for a regular one, in my opinion. But we'll see what it is. Um, Interesting that normally rock pool is more on the bigger boxes. This is more like a hay house style deck, box and deck and box, which I'm not opposed to. We got the Triskel there in the other side, a mat. And does this feel? It's got a nice feel. It's got like a mat with that gold. Is it gold? Yeah, it's not gold. It's kind of like shiny. It's like glossy bits. I don't know if you can see. There are some glossy bits there. Um, and then we've got that in the bottom. I was saying before, I'm like, well, we might as well. Oh, let's see. How much was this? Oh, good question. I want to say it was about $20. It was right around $20 on Amazon. It doesn't have a price on it. Oh wait, yes, it does. It says $24.95. I paid. I know I did not pay that. It was either just under 20. I think there was a 15% off coupon on Amazon with it. Plus, it was cheaper than that. I love the back. So the back is absolutely gorgeous. And I don't know that I've ever seen a rock pool that has the colored edges, but that's really beautiful. Hello, Anne. That's really pretty. I know that a lot of people do not like rock pool paper, but now I don't know that this is the same paper normal, but I have to say that I've not had any issue with rock pool paper holding up. It feels very thin, and when you shuffle it, it feels very thin. But my rock pool decks have held up really well. So, I mean, I'm not saying that that's the case with this, but it's been so far. I've not had an issue with rock pool paper, even though it feels very thin. This is a gorgeous backing, and I love that. That's really pretty. Whether that lasts or it's cheaply done, I don't know. Let's take a look at the book first. I did read something that made me. I did read one or two of the guidebooks. I don't know. I wasn't that like wowed by the guidebook, which is fine. I did like the keywords here, but like on the cards themselves. But I wasn't too like. I mean, it was fine, but I wasn't that impressed with the guidebook. The bit that I read, I will have to go through and read it all. We'll read one of them. Um, It has Celtic messengers. They're here to help raise the consciousness of humanity. Like, I don't know how much the Fae really care about. To be honest, I don't know how much the Fae really care about raising the consciousness of humanity. If the humans want to, raise their consciousness, they're more than welcome to. But I'm not sure, to my opinion, that the Fae really care one way or another. That's my personal experience. In all fairness, I'm generally a lot pickier about Fae guidebooks, and I don't tend to absolutely love them. These elemental beings bring you the gift of wisdom beyond our physical realm. They see through our physical limitations and understand what is needed at this time. Their messages at times are so subtle, like a whisper that gets lost. Some people are able to hear their messages if they slow down and listen. What are the elementals? This is a term that this creator, which is Nicola McIntosh, um, uses to represent the energies that work with this deck. They are part of the non physical world. They reside on other planes of existence without the restraints of our physical reality. Ancient beings, extremely advanced. So she's not calling them Fae. They look Fae, but she's not calling them Fae. She's working with them more as just elemental beings. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that there's no Fae that doesn't want to help somebody and become enlightened, but I don't think as a whole, I don't think they're that interested. That's just my opinion. The many people associate the Celtic people with the coming from Ireland, Wales, and Scotland, but the Celts agreed, in fact, were spread throughout Europe and may have originated from Austria. Their distinctive art style has lasted through the ages and carries with it great meaning in itself, like the never-ending and intertwining knotwork. Depicted as barbarians by the Romans, but they were actually a complex race who, including the women, were fierce warriors and who prided themselves on grooming, hygiene, and incredible artisan skills. Do not underestimate the strength and power of these messengers. The elementals make themselves known to me whilst I am in nature or shamanic journeying and through my artwork. So a little bit of maybe channeling to connect with the different elementals. The Celtic Spirit Oracle is a tool to aid spiritual growth and for the elemental energies to be able to communicate with you. How to use a card, this is going to be basic. I think at this point, if you watch my channel, you probably already know how to use the cards. They have a triquetra or 3-card spread. Apparently, I can't say that word tonight. Basically the past, present, and future. Pentagram spread. Where am I now? So it gives some different options there, which is better than just past, present, and future. I can't truthfully imagine doing a Celtic cross spread with a deck that only has 36 cards, but I mean, I don't generally do Celtic crosses with Oracle decks, but that's just me. Obviously go for it, right? Go try it and see how it goes. So then we have the image of the card itself, which is really pretty. It's in full color. It looks just like the card. We have the title and then whatever keywords are on the card itself. And it does look like it's giving some description when needed of pronunciation. So for this, we have number 1 is oak, doorway, strength, and journey. I would agree. The Celtic ogham, correctly pronounced ogham or ogum. Symbol on the leaf is a symbol for oak called dware, dur, or dur. Dur meaning door. The Celtic knot on the background is called the Dara knot. So I like that they're identifying the knot. The knot is said to represent the root system of the oak and symbolizes strength, endurance, and wisdom. There are not all of the oak. I did see this and thought, oh, is this just an Ogham deck? Not just, but is this an Ogham deck? It's not. I think this is the only one that has an Ogham on it. The Ogham writing around the circle reads, enter the world of fairy. The mighty oak, the gateway to the other worlds, is known as the doorway, the threshold between worlds, and also the guardian between the worlds. The oak door is often used to access fairy or to journey to the other worlds. Do not take this lightly. I appreciate that warning, as the oak energy is very powerful. You must always walk this path with pure heart and intent. If you don't, you simply won't be given access through spirit, or maybe end up somewhere you don't want to be. If you spirit can see into the heart of your soul, there's no escaping or trying to be something you are not. Whenever you're in need of strength and stability, call on the oak. Are you taking on too much and struggling on regardless? It may be a time where you need to realize your limits and be gentle with yourself. The oak is about endurance, but you will have to look at what cost. Oak will help you to move from a stagnant place or show you that you are moving just ever so gently towards your goal, just as the acorn slowly becomes the tree and continues to grow at a slow and steady pace. So it's got some timing there. This is a slow timing. The acorn energy is also great to call on for fertility of any kind, and especially new ideas or projects. Lastly, the oak is invaluable when needed answers or seeking information. Remember its connection to the ancestors and call upon the collective wisdom to guide you when you are lost or need clarity. Oak will help you to sift through the overwhelming amount of knowledge available to us at this time and give you exactly what you need at the right time. So watch out for synchronicities. So that's what we have as an example of one of the cards. That one I liked. This Denver, the Oak Guardian, I don't know. Again, I felt like it was cute. Like it was kind of a cute, I don't, write up, but I think personally just the images and the keywords and the title are probably going to be enough. But let's work our way through it. I like the oak one though. Hello, Violet. I was going to shuffle this and I decided let's just walk through them so people can see them. It's got kind of a cream kind of tan. I don't know what color showing through background. I really like the font that they're using. There's a lot, not all of them have knot work, but it does seem like when it has knot work, it does seem to tell you what the actual knot work is, which I do like. Like that, yeah, it looks like they do. We'll see as we go. So this is oak, doorway, strength, and journey. Of course, it has the oak oam and it has the oak leaf there in its beautiful changing form. Some of the artwork I really love. It's got kind of a folky feel to it. Some of them lean a little bit alien. I'm not a huge fan of anything that looks alien. That's my own personal issues. But let's see. I haven't looked at them all. This is the Oak Guardian, Threshold, Answers, and an Open Mind. Apparently, his name is Denver. He judges whether you're acceptable to journey through. Denver senses why you're here and sees whether you're ready to walk through the threshold. The small door is symbolic of the way we perceive things in our lives. So this is Threshold Answers. This is Doorway, Strength, and Journey. So I don't feel like they're duplicates of the energy that are going to come through. So that's nice to see. Find an oak tree, a leaf, or an acorn, or even just an image of one, and meditate on the oak tree and ask for the tree spirit to grant you access. Call on Denver to show you the way and step through the threshold into reality far beyond your imagination. So that's the Oak Guardian. I think I'd probably stick with the Oak Guardian versus Denver. I don't know. That doesn't sound like a very Fae name to me, but she's not calling these Faes. So that's just me. So that's the Oak Guardian. Here we have Fawn with a Triskel for beginnings, willingness, and opportunities. That's pretty lovely. The first being that she encountered when entering the world of the Fae. The Triskel symbol in the circle is believed to represent the important energies forever in motion. Fawn represents welcoming of new beginnings. Again, I like how when there are knotworks or Triskels or whatever the symbols are, I like that those are being told what those are versus some people maybe having to guess what they are. Again, so far the ones I've looked at, I've really liked the keywords, and that's great for me. Like I'll read through the book once, but most of the time I'll just kind of run with the image, the name, and the keywords. And I do like the keywords that I've seen so far. So that's a fawn. Here we have the maiden. So I'm assuming we're going to have maiden, mother, and crone. We have the maiden, innocence, love, and the past. I do like her leaves in her hair. Very pointy, very elfish, very almost pixie-esque, I guess you would say. With the maiden, I think it's the eyes. I think for me, what makes things look alien is when they have the eyes that almost go alien. Again, people love them. It's like the Terror of the Sheep. People love them. So this is no Nothing against the artist, because a lot of people see Faye that way. I just get creeped out by um, go enjoy being a mom taxi, Heather. I don't know why they creep me out sometimes. Okay, Maiden, and so then I'm guessing here we have Gwyneth as the mother. So it's not named the mother, but we have the mother there for Gwyneth. Um, the second of the three fates, Maiden, Mother, and Crone, also past, present, and future. Um, is anybody known? I don't know that we have the name of the Maiden, Mother, and Crone, and those aren't the fates. Like I would think of the fates as the Norns, right? Versus that. So I probably wouldn't go with that connection there. I would just stick with the Maiden, Mother, and Crone. It talks about the Trinity knot. In the circle is a symbol which represents the Maiden, Mother, Crone, past, present, and future, the three life cycles of women. So we have that there. Again, I like how, so that looks like that might be in all three. Yeah. So the Maiden, Mother, and Crone all have the same knotwork, and they explain what the knotwork is, which I really like. And then we have our past, we have our present with the mother, and we have our future with the Crone fairy godmother. I do like her. She does have a bit of a Brian Froud-esque-ness to her. This is the third, being the crone. The Trinity knot, again, explains the Trinity knot that's there. And she is the very crone. She can be very abrupt. She literally rummaged through my abdomen, pulling things out and throwing them over her shoulder, and then said, "Time to fly," and threw me off a cliff. Sounds like one of the Weaver grandmothers. I'm buying that as crone energy. So I do like that. Again, I probably wouldn't associate him with the Fates necessarily, but that's just me. I would just keep that with the Norns. Here we have the gift, communication, gift, and crystals. On this one, the tri-spiral symbol in the background is the famous rock carving inside the chamber at Newgrange. I like gift cards, like being receiving something. I like to have a gift card. I like the kind of branchy wings that are on her fairies as well. Again, the eyes to me are a little bit creepy. That's a beautiful card. I like this artwork a lot. Here is the shaman spiral, awareness, practice, and connection. Again, really like the keywords here on this deck. What does it say for the background of this one? The solitary shaman, the walker between worlds who bridges the gap between the physical and the non-physical realities. I love that. The spiral into self indicates a knowing of who you are past the physical body and where you came from without the need for ego. I really love this card. I think that's absolutely gorgeous. It's got kind of like a muted wash of like watercolor, mostly like black and white with the washes of color. This really shows up beautifully in this card. That's gorgeous. I really like her as well. Peace Walker, peace, gentle, and forward, moving forward. I like I'm moving forward. We do have runes here. It's not that there's no interplay between, the Celts and the Germanic runes, because obviously there were areas in which you had the Vikings coming in, you have the Anglo-Saxon runes in the British Isle, you have Celtic influences as well. I would have thought they'd just be Oghams here, but that's just me. Not it's I don't have a problem with it. Does she say what it is? Peace Walker. Peace Walker, take a challenge. Drawing this card. Well, we have Pertho. Awa, so peace. Oh, it says Peace Walker. All right, there you go. So it says Peace Walker here. I'm surprised because she really has done a great job of saying what's here. So I'm surprised that it doesn't. Again, I'm just kind of skimming, but I'm surprised she doesn't tell you what that means. But it says Peace Walker. And it says a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope. I really like this card. It's beautiful. Yeah, I worked that out. There must be a little bit of a delay for Mr. Chris. But what I was looking for, because not everybody knows runes, so I was wondering if it would be in the guidebook for somebody who doesn't read runes, because that's kind of nice to have. Here we have Tree Spirit. He's cute. I like tree. I'd like a more powerful tree spirit end, but he's a cute one. But I like his face. Strength, growth, and stability. Tree spirits are amazing allies to work with. Yes, also can be your ancestors. Trees teach us to grow in a sustainable. Blah, blah, blah. Last time you sat under a tree, the trees are reaching out to you. Is there a tree you can sit under? Go to the botanical gardens. I like that she's encouraging you to go out and meet a tree, versus just a tree on a card. So I love that. I do really like the knot work and things that are in these circles on the cards. I quite like that. And he is a tree that I wouldn't mind meeting because he's adorable. Here we have Blue. From what I could tell, and we'll see as we go through, I feel like this is the only shadow card in the deck. Depressed, isolated, help. There's a labyrinth here. Maybe this idea of getting lost and needing to find their way out with the labyrinth. Seeing if she mentions the labyrinth here. No. Have I put up a wall? Have I distanced myself? So I love the pop of blue in more of the muted tones, and then you really see that pop of blue. So we do have that sense of when we are just stepping back and retreating versus when we're actually depressed or isolated. I'm going to put this aside just to see if there's any other shadow cards. Of 36 cards, my guess is there's not too much. Surrender is beautiful. I am a huge fan of figures whose arms are back, whose chest is forward, whose head is up. I love that body pattern or that body stance in decks, because it feels like a surrender. It feels like really opening up and being vulnerable to whatever is coming. It feels like freedom. She looks like she is just releasing herself to the flow. Again, I really do like the keywords on the deck, and I love the font of the title. Here we have the Green Man, Nature, Connection, and Source. Of course, those are all over, right, Europe? So that is beautiful. Let's see if there's a green lady as well. White stags, of course, I love white stags. I love the birds up here. I love the darkening and the trees inside the space of the horns. That looks very magical. Shape-shifting support and otherworld. Yeah, pay attention if you see a white stag for sure. In or out of dream or journeying work. The white stag has long been a Celtic symbol. Yep. Came across this. I'm just seeing if he talks about the horned man. She's giving her experiences in journeying with these different elementals, is what she's calling them, which I really like. You're able to kind of see what her experience as she does shamanic journeying and meeting these different elemental creatures, and you're kind of getting to get an insight into what that experience was for her, which is pretty wonderful to be able to read somebody's insights there. Doesn't talk anything about this particular symbol, but that's a beautiful card. I really love that. Here we have the Master of the Hunt, speed, masculinity, and flow. I feel like we had flow in another one. With only 36 cards, you don't want to reuse it. This is obviously more to do with speed. I think it was in the Freedom one. Let go. That's a different type of flow. That's moving with the flow. I'm not sure that's the first keyword that I'd be kind of like, I'm not sure about that with the hunt. The hunt is much more, for me, very focused. The horned man has been seen in many locations. Yep. He may be known as Cernunnos, Hermes, the horned god, master of the hunt, even Gwyn ap Nud, pronounced Gwyn up Neath. Yeah, slaughtered that. King of the fairies. So I like that she puts pronunciation as she sees them. In the imagery I saw was of him running to the forest with such skill so I see that with flow. As though he knew every rock, every dip, every tree. He was part of the forest. So flooring with the, I know that's how I am too. I am very picky and I understand that, um, but I knew that when I bought it that I was like, I want to see it anyways. So I can go with that flow. I look at the Hunt Master as being much more focused and driven, and but I like that idea of watching somebody that is running through the forest and it just they're not going to get tripped up on anything because he's so in tune with that. So I do like that depiction, which would have been pretty cool to have as the image as well. Here we have Caradwin, transformation, knowledge, and magic. I feel like that those are great. Again, mostly I really like the keywords. There, giant cauldron there. This is beautiful. I do wish, like, there's some that are really beautiful. I really do. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Some of them are cuter or more alien-esque than others. That's super powerful. I like that one as well. So there does seem to be a little bit of a mix between really powerful looking and gorgeous and a little bit more to the cuter sides of things, which is an interesting mix. However, Fae can appear one way or another, and that doesn't necessarily mean they aren't very, very powerful either. Hello, John. But this is beautiful. Celestial, Cosmos, Creation, and the Spiral. Love that wash behind there. That's absolutely gorgeous. Love that card. Whoa. Love the weavers. Love the spider. Love the web. I love that card. Fate, manifestation, and decisions. Spiders have been known as the weavers of fate in many cultures. They're master weavers. Yeah, I absolutely love that card. That's gorgeous. That might be my favorite. Here we have She of the Woods. Not she as in the she, but she as in SHE, not SIDHE. Peace, connection, and home. Again, did we have a piece? I felt like we had that. Again, there's only 36 cards. So I do like to watch and see where there might be doubles of energy. We have the Peace Walker, but she's really is about moving forward versus moving calmly, moving forward. Whereas this is more that piece of being fully connected and being home. So I will say those are different. Those are different energies there, even though they both have peace on there. I actually kind of like this one. Step out, the hidden courage and camouflage. I actually kind of like that. It almost looks like it's just stepped out of the tree itself. I do like that. We've got more runes in the background as well. Again, and you can see it would be step out there. So it's the title kind of in runes. Again, I'm not sure why they wouldn't have used OMs, but maybe this is a person who really uses runes a lot. So that makes sense. Well, there we go. Now we got some OMs. Here we have Rest. This is sweet. Obviously, I love Thumbelina. And so it has that more pixie, the flower fairies kind of energy there. Stop, recharge, and self-care. It's sweet. I like it. Here, now let's see, Bloodwood. I know I always slaughter her name. Pronounced Bloodoweth, meaning flower face, or the ancient word for the owl, is surrounded from left to right by oak palm, broom flower, meadowsweet flower. The oak is a symbol of life, strength, and stability. Broom is associated with the heart and sweeping away what is no longer needed. And meadowsweet was highly prized by the Celts and used at weddings and burials. I like that when there are these plants like this, that they are giving you that information in the guidebook. That's a really pretty card, and I like the keywords there. Bloodoweth is how you say it. Yeah, I say it different every time. there's a saying that you can tell when somebody has learned things through reading and not hearing, and reading as a child and not hearing. And it's hard to give up your slaughters when you've done it the same way since you were a kid. So I own that. But this is beautiful. Yeah, the animal cards are gorgeous. Ooh, I actually like her or him or them. Very powerful stance, the Green Fairy. Mischief, freedom, and reckless. I quite like him. I'm just going to say him or them. I like the stance. Definitely has a trickstery vibe to it. Very much has a mischiefness to it. I do like him. I don't know that it's a him. Let's see if it says. Ever heard of the Green Fairy? Something to do with absinthe and a little mischief. Now, this fairy is not condoning drinking absinthe, but sorry. But she does, I would see it as a male or just a they. It feels very neutral, which I like. Recommends jumping out of your comfort zone and being a little mischievous. I don't know. I'm not sure that the Trixie Fays would really care too much if you drank some alcohol or some absinthe. Here we have the Morgan. She's beautiful. She looks very powerful. She's very young. It's like a young form of the Morgan. My vision of the Morgan is older and even more powerful, but it's not a bad look. She looks very much like she wants to kick your butt. Power, courage, strength. I like the keywords. The goddess of death. As frightening as this sound. Okay, please don't say as frightening as this sounds. She's really a very sweetheart. As frightening as this sounds, the Morgan may be one of our oldest Celtic goddesses and should really be seen as a keeper of death. I agree. She helps with the transformation. She is also seen as a healer and a triple goddess due to her many aspects of the Maiden Mother and crone. She met her as a gentle, caring being. I have not as a bad. I've seen it as a very helpful, but it was not in a gentle, caring way. It was a grab you up by your bootstraps and say, get it together. That's my experience. But we all have our own experiences. The Green Fairy who lives in the bottle wants to steal your soul from the Dracula movie about absinthe. There you go. But I love that there's a Morgan card in here, and I love that she has that fierce look about her. Here we have Dream. Again, this kind of looks more like Amy Brown art on here. Manifestation, can't talk. Manifestation and plan and be are as the keywords. So it's not just dreaming, but actually manifesting it, making plans. I like the action feel of that. I love this card. I do feel like there's a bit of a split on some of the artwork style. Again, it is a very kind of folky style, which is a nice thing. I like folky style, but some of them there feels like there's some cards that look super, super powerful, and then others not as much. So there's a little bit of a shift like that between the art styles. I really love this. This kind of line drawing with just that wash of color. Portal, change, gateway, and new beginnings. I feel like we had a new beginnings card. Again, not being picky, just, if we've got 36 cards, we do want to see for you, if you're contemplating getting it, whether we have duplicates. Beginnings with Fawn is beginnings, willingness, and opportunities. But this is more about changes, although I think the oak tree was also more of a doorway. That's more the actual journey and passing through. I don't know. That kind of feels like repetitive, like that could have been used for a different energy entirely when we only have 36 cards. But I love the card, so I'm not going to say anything about that. Because this to me would feel like, more along the lines of Outlander, where we have a portal going to another time. Which I like. Here we have the pentagram. I don't know that I associate pentagrams with Celts. That's just me. Pentagram is a beautiful symbol which illustrates the harmony between the 5 elements. And she's saying it's within the pagan community. The elements are this, and this, which comprise fire, earth, metal, water, wood. It's also associated with symbol of protection. Okay, so that's good. She's not saying that is a Celtic symbol there. It's beautiful. Again, I really like this imagery. these line drawings like this are really gorgeous. Protection, balance, and unity. This is beautiful. See, I love, love, love that. That's gorgeous. The hair, otherworld, shape-shifting, and fertility. That's beautiful. I love that. Makes me think of, oh, I love that too. Heart center. I also love the title of that, Connection, Love, and Receiving. Again, this style on her artwork is just stunning. This too, like I love these symbolic looking ones. Sacred Waters, that's got the where you've got the two circles that are overlapping and creating the mandala. It's not called a, I have a video about that. I really like that. That's on the in Glastonbury. Isn't that on the cover of the well? Where you have the two circles that overlap and that focus. It's a very powerful focus here in the center. Chris says a pentacle was used as an old Christian symbol in Wales. So, I mean, that could be there. It's on the inside of Gawain's shield in the Green Knight, but that's also a medieval poem, not ancient lore. True. Let me see. Let me go back to, I haven't been looking at all of the things. There's much symbolized Celtic hair and the other world. The Celtic warrior Oisin, hunted and wounded in the hair and leg. One of the traits of the hair. It doesn't speak about Glastonbury in the hair card. That doesn't mean that that is not the case, but it doesn't say that in the guidebook. Again, I love these symbolic cards. They're absolutely beautiful. I actually really like, so we do have a green man and a green woman. Nature, connection, source, feminine nature, and oneness. Again, the eyes creep me out a little bit, but I like the dragon eyes. And I like that it is abundance, not greediness. The gatekeeper, power, abundance. I like this association with dragons. Dragons are powerful for me. I like this. I really do like the majority of these cards. Here's the she. The other one was the she of the forest, but S-H-E. Ancient knowledge, help, and dimensional. Very young looking, less powerful looking, but that can be deceiving, right? Looks can be deceiving. And that is the Glastonbury symbol on the chalice. Well, okay, yeah, I thought that was. So we have the she, ancient knowledge, help, and dimensional. Again, I like the keywords. Standing stones, ancestors, gateways, and sacred. See, again, I feel like with 36 cards, although this is a portal, but I feel like you could, that's gateway, that's gateway. We have the oak, which is sort of a doorway. I feel like I love this. I love the look of both of these, but I feel like you could have just picked one of these because there's only 36 cards. That way you had more options for things to come up, because if I got both of these or all three of those in a reading, that would be an interesting reading. But I would just use this as an ancestor card probably. Sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. You have Finn's window. We were just talking about that today. Divination, guides, tree spirits. I like the wood ones hanging at the bottom, and then you have the window in the middle. Love it. And here we have the herbalist, herbs, medicine, and healing. Let's see what she tells her. Obviously, we have a dandelion, so how am I supposed to be mad about that? I cannot be mad about that. Herbs, medicine, healing. The herbalist is calling to you. Have you always been drawn to herbs? It's time to venture further, learning plant medicine and plant spirit. We, like animals, can search out our own medicine. When we tune into our intuition, we begin to sense the pull of what we need, and so on and so forth. Oh, here we go. Here we've got a picture. Nicola McIntosh is the artist and author of the Celtic Spirit Oracle. She was born in New Zealand, and the Celtic blood runs through her veins, having a family lineage from predominantly Scotland, as well as England and Ireland. She has felt a tie to everything Celtic for a long time. Practicing Celtic shamanism brought it all together for her, and through this work, she's been able to connect with the energies to bring through the Celtic messages from the other worlds. Um, Just kidding. I know how much you hate that. I love them, of course. Which one? Oh, it's a weed. I love dandelions. Okay, so I like this. I have to say, I was very iffy about it. I just really wanted to see it because I knew that very often, again, I don't really like, and this is personal. It has nothing to do with artwork. I just don't like anything that looks like an alien. It freaks me out. Maybe I had an alien encounter in a past life. I don't know, but I don't prefer anything that reminds me of alien energy. I really love this style of the artwork um, a lot. Like these are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. A little bit youthful for the she for me, but again, looks are deceiving. Love this style of the artwork. We have one shadow card, which is a little bit. I guess if you're going to only have one, maybe it's going to stand out kind of weird in a way. I love this. I love this. I do actually really like that. I love that. I love that. I think that's very powerful and trickstery. I see her older, but that works. This is a different style in the art. Again, I love that artwork. It's a little bit, some of these are a little bit cuter in their looks, although I do like the crone mother. So I love that, love this form, love the animals, love that. I don't love that imagery as much as that. Um, so there's some of the people forms aren't my absolute favorite, but because it feels like the art, there's different types of art for a very small deck. But overall, I like the keywords. I love the animal cards. I love and this is me. This is me being picky about Fae stuff. So you take that with a grain of salt. Art is very subjective. I like rock pool shuffling. They shuffle. This doesn't feel like typical rock pool cardstock. It actually feels less bendy. This is the first rock pool art cards that I've seen with an edging, and it feels thicker than typical rock pool deck. So I don't think it's the same. Obviously, they might need to use a specific kind to get the edging, to stick on it. Let's see what we get. The only repeats I would say is, again, the doorways and passageways. We have the portal, we have the standing stones, and we have the oak. So that could have been used to. Oh, yours are chipping already. I did read some reviews on that. But again, this doesn't feel like typical rock pool, which I don't have problems with chipping. Center here. There's our oak showing up for strength and doorway. We have the doorway that's going to take us into the future and into gaining wisdom from the crone fairy mother. I do like her. She feels a little tricksy too, like she would throw you off a cliff. And into the herbalist. I would use the herbalist card in terms of healing, which is on there. I like the keywords. It's about finding the things that you need, learning the truth, having the wisdom to know what it is that you need to heal what needs to be healed. So you're opening a doorway, you're journeying into a space where you can gain the wisdom that you need to use the resources that you have at your disposal for healing. So I don't think that that's hard at all to interpret as a message. Again, that's one of the ways, if you want to see like if a deck works for you, is just lay a series of random 3 cards just to see, can you relatively easily come up with a sentence? Can you come up with something to read? Here we have somebody that is depressed, isolated, and is in need of help from the ancestors, and understanding that there is a powerful gatekeeper, or for me, that would definitely be a powerful guardian. So the help that is needed is there. So even though you may be feeling isolated, you are not isolated because your ancestors and guardians are there, which is, I think, a great message to have. Here we have the portal, the pentagram, and Caradwin. That's a powerful three, right? You have this gateway and this portal and this major shift that is coming. Set your balances and protections in order because things are about to get powerful. Transformation, knowledge, magic. Caradwin is powerful energy there. So I kind of like the protection setting in the middle of that. As sort of things are about to shift. Awareness, practice, and connection. Oh, that's an interesting one, right? To have to be very much aware in any journeying that you're doing, because you do need to watch out for tricksy energy as you find the right gateway here and the right threshold into the space where you can find the answers. Again, even the Oak Guardian has a sense of thresholding. So there's quite a few threshold cards, but they might end up coming up in ways that read differently. Again, we got those face to face, so that's quite powerful, right? That balance of all of the energies of nature, giving you that full connection to the world to just run. Just get. I loved that she wrote about that just start running. You're going to know exactly where to put your foot down. Trust what the messages that you're receiving because you are fully connected in, right? So yeah, I mean, to me so far, this actually feels like this can read really, really well, that's fantastic, right? To have a good reader when it's a smaller deck like that. It feels like it could pop up messages pretty easily because it's great keywords there. So, I mean, it's definitely promising. I, again, have to wait and see using it. I wish there were more cards versus 36. For me, that's a little bit small for an Oracle deck. Maybe having more diverse out of so many gateways and portals, but I'm going to reserve judgment on that. Not judgment, that is the wrong word to use, but I will reserve, how that works in terms of readings until I use it enough to see like what, how those end up coming up. They may end up coming up very differently in reading. So far, I'm liking how it reads. I'll have to just work my way past the eyes. And again, please trust me when I say this is not a criticism of the artist because it's a way of looking at them. It's a powerful way. It's just a personal, probably again, maybe I was abducted by aliens in a past life because it gives me the creeps. But I'm going to work past it because I do think there's promise here. Chris said he enjoys Alien. I do like otherworldly. It's a fine line. I understand it's in my own issue because it's a fine line. I do like the wild, otherworldly looking fae. Look at Brian Froud's. They kind of are wild and crazy and pointy. But if it shifts, there's just this fine line where it shifts into feeling a little more alien. This isn't all the way over there. There are some decks that I just don't work with because they just feel way too alien. But this is not there. It's just on that line. But that's just me. It's not a negative. It's my own personal issues. Art is extremely subjective, right? And so what works for one person and what doesn't work for another person, you can't, you just have to roll with it. There's no two people are going to have the same experiences when looking at art. Okay, I'm going to pull a card of the week for me. I do too, Violet. Like I said, it's just on the cusp of that, where it's like it could go one way or another, but it's not enough where it says I wouldn't use it. I had to trade off the Tarot of the She, and that's a powerful deck that people love, but I could not work with it. That's just because of my own problems. So here we have, again, I would be using this in the week card of paying attention and bringing in the resources that I need to manage the coming week. Staying on top of that. The guidebook seemed to talk about using your instincts and knowing what it is that you need for healing, what it is that you need to make the concoctions and the things that you need for yourself to support yourself. So staying alert and bringing in those things that are going to help you to manage the week, whatever that's going to look like for us. So we'll see how that plays out over the course of the week. Okay, that's what we got. I'm going to put this in. Oh, let's see. It should fit in. These look smaller. I got to put all this stuff away. Here we go. We lost a sun. Aw, I just ruined the little sun sticker. We'll try to save it. So yeah, I'm definitely was more skeptical because, again, I'm super picky with Fae stuff, and this doesn't call it a Fae deck. She calls them elementals, but I'm very picky with that. So I wasn't sure, and it's more promising than I thought it was going to be. And I did like the 3-card pulls on it. It really did seem to snap into messages really quickly. So that's very promising there as well. So we shall see over. I love this image. Love this image. So we'll see over the course of using it. But hopefully that helps you. If this is a deck that you're interested in, so you could see the cards and see whether this is one that you're going to pick up or not. But yeah, there we go. Hope that this helped. I'm going to kick you out and stop talking. I have talked way too much this week, and I will see you guys all on the next deck or the next plan with me or whatever comes next. I will talk to you guys later.